Offerman with Master School Dances. Those of you that have been following my page and stuff, you will notice that I have spent the last sleepless nights working on redoing my turntable. This is the finished product. I just got to redo the platter because I don't like the white. This is the old white. This is the new. It feels like glass. It's absolutely stunning. I mean, you could rub your finger through it, close your eyes. It feels like you're using an iPhone. It's great. You'll also notice that there's no longer the 45 adapter hole in there, and this is all painted nice and pretty. I've also modified by adding a blue LED. I've gotten rid of all the etching, etc. in there. A couple more things that are coming up to it. I'm going to get a custom vinyl with my DJ logo on it. Maybe have an engraver work on it, but whatever. This is it. Now, there's tons of great tutorials out there. My personal favorite that I used was the YouTube video series from Viper Frank, and he did an incredible job explaining everything. But I saw a bunch of people saying, oh, well, you should do a YouTube video set on how you did all this. So I am, because I'm an attention whore. So basically I'm going to take this turntable that I just bought, and literally this guy used it for actual turntable purposes, not for DJing purposes. So we're going to take this whole thing apart, we're going to clean it, we're going to inspect everything, make sure it's all in good shape. This isn't going to be as in-depth as some of the tutorials that you've seen out there, meaning I'm not going to show you how to take apart the, what is it called, the pitch fade or anything like that, but I'm going to show you the basics. It is very easy, it is very time-consuming, strenuous, you're going to need lots of materials. You may be wondering what those materials are, you'll learn as we go along, because that's what I did. So let's begin, shall we? First thing you're going to want, of course, is you're going to need a pillow, because you're going to sleep while you're working on this project. You're going to need a pillow, and we're going to take off the platter. Now, if it doesn't come off that easily, just pull off on the sides, take a rubber mallet, and just lightly tap on this, very lightly. Comes off, you'll want to make sure that it's all clean and in good shape, and this is perfect. So we're going to give this an acid bath in just a little bit here, but we'll do that last, or while we wait for this to paint. We'll just put this on top here for now. Okay. Again, the tone arm here, everything's in great shape so far. The anti-skating works and all that. I don't think I'm going to have to do a lot of work on the tone arm. I am going to need to replace a little tone arm adapter. Before we take this part here, or this stuff apart, we're going to go ahead and, before we do the bottom, we're going to go ahead and do the top. So the top's very simple. You're going to want to get little baggies, and you'll want to label them, what you're doing and where, because there's tons of screws, and they are interchangeable, but they're all differing lengths. So you want to make sure that you put everything in the right hole. That's what she said. Alright. Johnny, come around this way. Okay. We're just going to... Which, by the way, if you do not have one of these are the handiest things ever. They also give you a little bit better torque, too. If you have an electric screwdriver, put it away. It is incredibly easy to strip these, and some of these are torqued to spec, so you definitely don't want to screw that up. So again, we have the very first piece, which is this here. Now what I do with this, instead of putting little screws in the baggie, I just leave them like that. You can take a little bit of Scotch tape or masking tape and just put them over the screw to prevent the screw from coming out. Our cat is hungry. She's just going to have to wait. Next, we're going to take this part out here. Again, I'm going to take some masking tape in a bit. I'm going to just tape down the screws, and this way I know what goes where. Upon inspection here, again, we see that everything, now, I already checked this beforehand before I bought it, but everything is actually in really good shape, which was kind of surprising. Now, some of you, like, may decide, okay, we're going to take this off last. I usually take it off first. We're going to go ahead and take this part, and again, this is what the pillow is for, because the tone arm can be very fragile. I actually hang the tone arm off the edge of the table just slightly. I'm going to put my leg underneath just to keep it from the weight from coming out. Now we're going to take the feetsies away. Alright?
Did you say feetsies?
Feetsies. With a good little turntable. Alright, so we're going to take these out.
Not to be confused with feces.
No. If there's feces on your turntable, just get rid of Craigslist. Alright, so let's go ahead and take these apart. And this isn't actually me going really fast. This is fancy editing, taking this and making it go really fast. Alright, keep recording.
Let you record.
So we're taking it out. Now one of the things about this one is it's in much better shape than this one. This turntable was attempted to be repaired by repairman, which means a lot of the screws were missing and I had to order parts and all that. Funny enough, I got this one a lot cheaper than I got the other one. So we're just gonna very lightly take this out. Here we go. Again, you can take down the screws or you can put them in a bag, whatever you choose. For now, I'm going to choose to tape them down just because it's a little bit easier for me that way. Your mileage may vary, of course. Some of you are like, I don't need to tape them down, I'll just leave them there. Yeah, don't do that. Okay. So the first bag, which is this one, it's going to go towards the weight shell. Now, if you ask the same question I did, which is, hey, you know what? Since I have these in cases and there's weight in the cases, can I reduce this shell and get rid of a nice 10 pounds? No, you cannot. I have tried it, and boy, does it make a difference, not only in terms of stability and how sensitive the turntable is, but also in how your signal is amplified, because it picks everything else up. So let's see, we also have this. And probably while I'm at it, I'm also going to go ahead and, which you really can't see, but I bondoed out the holes where the hinges were. Because I no longer need the hinges, since I don't plan on using any plastic pieces for the turntables. But we'll worry about that later. So we have this. We take this all apart and we wonder what the heck is still there. Oh look, there's another one here. This has more screws than you could imagine. Last time I ever did anything with this many screws, it was the last generation iBook 4. Now if you have never taken apart an iBook 4, I lost count after 147 screws. That's not a lie. And you only need 10 of those to put the computer back together. Magic. Okay. I left one hinge on so you can see, and I have left one off. Noticing here, I see that this cord was patched up at some point, so we are going to replace this cord with a better one. I have two choices though. I can patch it up with another one of these cords, or I may decide to patch it up with a female IEC so I can plug in IEC cords. So when the cord breaks down, I don't have to worry about replacing the cords every single time. But chances of a cord going out are pretty slim. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of every individual part that we have here. Again, we have the little screws for the weight plate. Okay, you should have a total of, let's get rid of these. And again, including the two, not including the hinges because the hinges don't need to be there. You should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a hinge screw. There was one more that I left. 9 to 10 of them. So we're gonna, and they balance. Okay. I'd like to take this time to remind you that if you haven't gotten into Master School Dance videos, you definitely should. It's not going to help you with this in any way, shape, or form, but it'll feed me, and that's what's important. We're going to go ahead and get rid of all this tape. You can, of course, use electrical tape versus this crappy foam tape, which sucks. Hello, man, this crappy foam tape isn't coming out. Alright.
This is not crappy.
So the first thing is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to plug everything from the front. I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. This one that I've taken apart is for the pit, or for the pop-up light. This is for the pitch. This one here is for start, stop, and strobe light. We're going to go ahead and take those out, and we'll do that in just more about that in just a moment. My wife is going to kill me when she realizes that one of the pillows has crap on it. Yep, that's her behind the camera, very angry right now. We're going to get another one of these handy dandy bags. It's fine, it's clean, it's just little pieces of the tape that I'm taking out. Watch.
Kick your butt.
I'd like to take this time to remind you to make sure you come to my 2 seminars in Mobile Beat Las Vegas. The first one teaches you on photography for DJs. Don't tell me you'll need that seminar because I'm seeing everybody posting saying, I bought a DSLR and I don't know what to do with it. Well, this seminar is going to teach you how to do that. I will also be doing a really cool seminar on maximizing lighting at your shows, whether it's school, wedding, corporates, or rentals, etc. And it's sponsored by American DJ. Okay, so again, we're going to go and put this there. Now, if you want to be cool and you want to kind of like number things out, you can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No such. I don't need to do that, but I'm going to continue on. Okay. Dremel. If you do not have a Dremel, get one. Hold these fingers. So we're going to take a Dremel and we're going to just go over here for a second, just wipe this glue off. Okay. We're going to pop this piece out. We're going to put this with the light. Next we have our pitch fader. Now our pitch fader, as you can see over here, our pitch fader also locks into the ground for the tone arm. We're going to go ahead and take that out. That screw right here on this side. We're going to do a modification for the pitch fader too. We're going to go ahead and put blue LED on it. We'll go over the LED specs and everything. There will be one further modification. I will not be doing it for this video. I probably won't be doing it until later next year. Because I use all MIDI with my time code, and I don't use this one as much because I have a MIDI fader. I would like to be able to not use the MIDI fader on my mixer. I'd like to be able to use it on this. So I'm actually going to build or find some way to turn this or replace this with a MIDI controller. So it'll be really nifty when I get done with that. It'll probably be the first modification of its kind. We're going to put that there. These turntables, by the way, are from 2003. If you would like to know how I know that, let's look at your serial number, shall we? Oh, hey, remember when I said take those screws down? That's why. Okay, so I'm not going to turn this thing upside down, but you'll see the serial number right here, okay? Anything after GE is after 2001, I believe. The next number is the year. So GE3 means that it's a newer turntable. 3 is 2003. And then the CN and all that is your month code. That basically allows you to date your turntable. Make sure you take it out to dinner first. Let's put these things back in. Okay. So the next thing we're going to go ahead and take out is going to be, let's do the power control module. And the power control module comes in 2 parts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out the little clicker. This doesn't fit right, so we're going to grab this screwdriver. Okay. We're going to get a little bag for the power control mod or power control switches and all that. Well, we'll handle that in a minute. Okay, and then we're going to pull very carefully these threads here. Monica, follow me with that camera, please. And we're going to take out these screws. There's one central one, and there's just a red color one, and there are 3 black ones. I too have considered replacing these with MIDI buttons, but it's going to be an interesting mod and messing with Arduino boards, or I could take an existing controller and chop it all up. But again, we're going to go ahead and take this, and for some reason your power thing doesn't work, you can always fix that. In my case, this one not only works, but it has a little click that I like. This one did not work at all, so I modified it and I rebuilt it. It doesn't have as nice of a click, but it's okay. Make sure whenever you put anything that has screws, you always want to inspect things. Make sure there are no capacitors in there. Capacitors can hold electricity and a screw will short it out. Next, while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and take the tone arm out. tone arm out comes out in a few different parts. First, rip off the tape for the grounding cable. Now, with this turntable, when I remade the tone arm and everything, I had a lot of issues with the RCAs. Turns out that not only the RCAs were bad, the actual PCB that they were soldered to was no good. Now, in one case, I could just resolder that and rebuild the PCB, but instead I decided to take breadboard and fix it myself. I don't think I have to do that with this, but I'm going to show you anyways how to do it. If you have a screw that is stripped, which happens to all of us, it's always a Phillips. No matter how hard you wish it wasn't, it's always a Phillips head. When that happens, you take a rubber band, you put it across the head, and then it'll grab it.
That's what she said.
Thanks. Alright. That's my lovely wife, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering how much dust was underneath this, there you go. That's pretty disgusting. Okay, shut it off. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Monica, if you can take over with the camera and follow me around. Okay, so I just went ahead, once those 3 screws came out, I just took the tone arm out. We're going to disassemble the tone arm in a minute. Maybe. Let's go ahead and flip this sucker around. We can go ahead and take this pillow, shake off that dirt and stuff. It's just dirt. So, first things first, we're going to go ahead and just loosen a little bit of everything. Here we go. I'm thinking I'm just going to put this over here. I don't want to scratch my table. So we're going to take this rubber plate, put that there. Now for today's demonstration purposes, and those of you that use dicers don't do this, we're going to take this also and we're going to Bondo it up. But that'll be for another day. What the heck am I doing? Oh, we need another bag. Because now we're taking everything for the front plates, or the front part. So, first thing we're going to do is, again, we loosen everything up. We take it all out. And this one's kind of a pain, so I'm just going to do this now. This is the power cable. And again, I can choose to replace this with another power cable, but there's a very good chance I'm going to replace this with an IEC cable. I might, ground it and everything. That way I can just take a regular IEC and plug it back there. Oh my God, Arnoldo, you're a genius. Thank you very much. Okay, so next we're going to take this out. Actually, yeah, we'll do that next. And this is your voltage regulator. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, whenever you have an item that disperses out voltage, another item that takes a voltage, if the voltages don't match, meaning one is higher than the other, you must find a way to disperse that out. In this case, that is what the voltage regulator is for. However, the voltage regulator also gets incredibly hot. Because of that, you need a heatsink. As you can see here, the heatsink is the turntable chassis itself. And that's why there's a heatsink cream. Noob. Okay, so we have that taken care of. Next, we're going to go ahead and loosen up the actual motor part. Should take these handy-dandy screws. I'll tell you what's amazing is that I've taken quite a few of these apart. Actually, I used to mess with these when I was a kid, and so I was obsessed with them. And I took mine apart, which is a really old turntable. It's one of the very first models or a series of the MK2s that came out. And this one's from 2003, and it's all exactly the same. So there's only those 3 there, but again, it doesn't just come off that easily. However, I'm going to go ahead and lift it up because I'd like to get this out. There's quite a few mods you can do for this, but I don't believe in messing with perfection. What I do know is that this is a little bit somewhat doesn't flow as nicely. So if I can get this to break out a little bit more with some lithium grease, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. We'll see how that works out. Okay, so we have this. Next we're going to take out our power board. Okay, nothing too complex here. All this turntable really is just a big giant motor, as you can see there. Hence the name direct drive. And then of course we have our power supply. Now believe it or not, this power supply actually vibrates, and the vibrations do hurt a little bit of the integrity and sound that the system or the turntable reproduces. Is it going to be something that's going to affect time codes? Not a chance. But it's still interesting to know that you can replace this for about $200 with a super quiet DC converter. I think it's worthless in my opinion. However, if you want to add LEDs and all sorts of flashy stuff, yeah, you're going to need that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this out. We're going to pull the little piece, remember that I pulled out from the power control module. We're going to lift this up. Again, you're going to see there are a couple capacitors in there. We're going to go ahead and put this right on the rubber part. Second rubber piece here. Here's a part that sucks. Technics or Panasonic, I wish you freaking didn't do this to us. You'll notice this here. This does not pop up. This is part of the board. You have a choice of taping it off or painting it. You cannot rip this off. Well, you can, but you can't really do it nicely. Allow me to silly demonstrate. Actually, let me see. I can just show you right there. See right there, it doesn't come off like it should. So what I did is I just bent the piss out of it. But again, that just goes to show this does not come off. However, I'm going to rip it off anyways because I'm going to paint over this. I'm not too concerned with these, and you can buy these on eBay, okay? So we're going to go ahead and sand that down and everything else. But you can buy these on eBay, put it back up. So look, don't care. Those of you watching this are probably like, nah, he's bull crapping. He's going to be like, I can't believe I broke that. So that's it. Everything is completely taken apart. Let's go real quick, look over the tone arm, and that'll be just as quick. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Okay, so we're going to take apart the tone arm. This is not for the faint of heart, folks. Okay? And let me tell you, you need to be patient because one little screw up and basically you're going to have to buy a new Cardis wire. Well, I'll tell you what Cardis wire is later on, but one screw up and yeah, you're done for. Okay. Monica, could you get me another, what is it called? Thing, please.
Baggy?
Yes, another couple bags. Okay, so right now I'm having a hard time getting this to pop off. This basically is the little piece that holds this together. Okay, thread this out. With the bigger LEDs, RCAs, you're not going to be able to just manually or easily pull that in there. And I'll be honest with you, when I did the thicker RCAs, this wouldn't even work. But it was so thick and the way I had it, I didn't need that to keep the RCA from messing around in there. So, I actually did not wind up using it. And you probably may not either, depending on the RCAs that you use. But rest assured, that's there to keep the RCA from getting yanked out. The way that I did the RCA, they're not getting yanked out. Okay, so first thing well, let's go and remove this too. First thing you'll notice in here again, you have the little PCB board that basically has your Cardis wire. This is Cardis wire. It is a very, very, very fragile wire that goes directly to the tone arm. You cannot replace this with other wire, you know, like thicker wire or anything like that, because it messes with how heavy this is. I mean, this is literally precision built. So we're going to take out one thing at a time, because that's what we... So I'm going to just take everything apart. So I took that, and this little piece basically is for your lever. It pushes the lever in and out to lift this up and down and such. So we are going to take these RCAs, we're going to pull them out, we're going to undo all this, we're going to pull out, I'm going to rebuild the circuit board most likely just because this is kind of a pain to solder back in. It depends on how I feel about it. Now I can take scissors, but for now I'm just going to take my little Dremel. I'm just going to cut right through there. Make sure it's still recording occasionally. Okay. If it falls in, it's not a big deal. We're going to take this cable. We're just going to nick it because I'm not too worried about it. Okay. We're going to take these RCAs out and everything else. Now if you want to preserve your RCAs, that's great, and God bless you for it. But I sure as heck don't. So first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to melt all these little cables out. Now I already wrote down where these go, okay? You'll want to do that too. Now technically these are already pre-tinned, but we're going to do that as well in a minute. What I did is basically I took the soldering gun and I melted them and I gently pulled the wires. You do not want to do them with with pliers or anything like that because they will break. You want to do that by hand. You want to do it very gently. By the way, another handy tool. I temporarily stole this one from my mom. It's basically a screwdriver with a built-in ratchet, but you can also hold it like that. Now, if that's not nifty, nothing in the world is. Okay, this is, again, tone arm screws. And we're going to take this one here. Now, some of you may say, well, why in the world would you want to build your own circuit or circuit board? Well, in this case, I don't need to. This one's in great shape, but I want to show you for all purposes in this video, assuming that I have enough time. If not, well, you know, too bad, I won't. But it's very easy, and some of you may accidentally wind up breaking a little bit of the connection. Also, it may be really difficult for you to get that in there without messing up the connections, meaning that, you know, these two might be touching after you solder. If that happens, you can just take a Dremel and do that in there. And I might do that too, which is why I haven't completely broken this part off yet, but let's go ahead and do that. Monica, if you could do me a favor. Monica's going to pull on the RCAs very gently. Start with this side here. Pull, very nice. Oh, don't pull that hard, don't pull that hard. There we go. Awesome. We can go ahead and unplug that soldering board. Okay. Never throw anything away because you don't know if you're going to need to refer back to it later. So we're going to go ahead and put that with its own board later. Okay, so now we have this tricky little thing right here. I may have to get my regular pliers. You know, they could have just used like a regular nut that locked in. No, they had to use these stupid things. And some people just want to watch the world burn. Okay, we'll continue putting that in there. You know what's funny is this one too will have that. To take this one out, okay, we're gonna screw this all the way in. See how that goes all the way in like that? Okay. Now that's gonna allow us to basically just pull it out. Pull it out. That's how you were born. Okay. So we have this. Man, I'll tell you what, this video is going to suck to edit. Then we're going to pull this out. There's a little washer there. Mind where your washers are. Do not forget that. And there is there is another one there. I was going to say there should have been a half washer. Then we're going to take these out. And we're going to pull this sucker out in just a moment. Oh, forgot about that. See, no matter how many times, you always forget something. Okay, so we have this. We have that. There's a little flathead there, so we're going to take a little teeny turner, and we're just going to undo that. Okay, we're going to put that in there. Then we're going to take this.
Break it.
I won't. That goes in there. Now, keep in mind that I already know where everything goes, so I did not worry about separating things. I am going to recommend that you do separate stuff. Another thing, before you take that out, make sure your anti-skate is set to 0, because if not, you can screw things up. So, okay, so we've removed the anti-skate part. I'm going to take this one here. There's one more of these little buggers. Okay. Okay. So we have that. Now here's where the tone arm comes apart, and this is what finishes up pretty much almost everything. Now we remove the cardus wire. Yay for that. And out of the tone arm. We're going to go ahead and this part here, this is actually backwards. So this part here is righty-loosey. Make sure that you buy silicone or lithium grease. You'll need something when you clean the threads to put it back up. This is, again, these things are precision built. You want to make sure that it's put back as smoothly as possible. Once you have that, then we're going to take this part out. Okay? And now we have the tone arm part. This is a little arm that we're later going to reassemble. And we have the anti-skate. At this point, the anti-skate no longer needs to be in 0. Had to be in 0 so at least you could see the position of it. But honestly, as long as you know where the anti-skate was to begin with, just set it back, because there is no way you can remove it at 0 and still keep it there the rest of the time. It's just not possible. Okay, so now we're gonna put this little thingy back in here. We're going to put this in the one till the one from eBay comes in. Now, if you need to replace just that, and you don't want to take it all apart just to do that, I don't blame you. The easiest way, if you ever have one of these, is to hold, and you need to replace just that, is just to go in your tone arm, hold a screw like that, and then, or with pliers, and then just hold that in, and then twist it in. It's the easiest way possible. Okay, so we have this, and we are almost done. Now we have basically this part here to take out. These little screwdrivers, or hinge parts here, all they are is just basically a flathead, and you just remove it. Well, now this is interesting. This one came out a little bit different than the other one did. My other ones are one piece. This one, you'll notice, is actually 2 pieces. I'm going to put this back the way I found it, because they're made there so you don't dig this in too deep and so it's still flush. Okay? So I want to actually unscrew the inner part, not the outer. Okay? Now, You'll notice why I'm freaking out now. That tiny little, I don't know if you heard it, that was a ball bearing. That means that one of these is actually bad. Ball bearings are not supposed to come out. Okay? So the question is where did that come out of? Well, I'm noticing absolutely 0 ball bearings here, and they're all there on the floor. So that means that it was the bottom part of this tone arm that is bad. So I need to, since you can't really repair this, I need to find another one of these online. And if I can't find it, it was working just fine without it. But ball bearings do eventually give out. So we have this taken apart. We now have this taken apart. We're going to put them in these little screw biggies. Okay. These not so much, because they're all going to go there. Next we have we take these out here. So this is basically this is just the little pivot arm in between. We want to take that out because when we paint them, we don't want to get the ball bearings filled with paint. Not like it's going to matter for the other one. It's going to slide right out. Now again, Technics has, I believe it's a 34 gauge wire. That's what this is. You can buy the upgrade Cardis wire, which I have already done that. And I have verified that these already have them too. Which probably explains why the ball bearings are missing or falling out. Because somebody over-tightened it. If you over-tighten it, your ball bearings are going to fall right out. Now we're going to slowly take these out. You're going to notice there's also a little ground right there. Okay? I just want to pull that out because I don't want that to get cut or ripped off or anything. When we rethread it, I'm going to show you some tips on how to rethread it without, it being a pain in the sun don't shine. Okay, we're going to take this and this tone arm here. We're going to just put that there.